Hello, everybody. I have today very special guests. Really, very special guests. I invited a lot of matchmakers. Invited a lot of psychologists, dating coaches, and book authors. But today, I have somebody who has a mission to put men together. So, what Jeremy wrote about himself, creator of the roadmap to relationship mastery for men, and co-founder of the Family Man Tribe, is a husband, father, international champion, and sixth degree Kung Fu master. So you can protect your wife. Yeah, strong man. Multiply best-selling author, hypnotherapist, neurostrategist. It's too complicated for me. It's getting complicated. And consultant. Author of the only parenting book with money back guarantee. Jeremy is on mission. Oh, cool. I like the photo. Jeremy is on a mission to help dads. It's about dads build strong marriages, raise amazing children, and have lives they love. It's really, so it's more an introduction, but I want to talk to you. It's
That's
boring.
fine. That's fine.
Yeah.
We can put it in the show notes and people can go look at all the things.
Because I can do it. You show your book once again. Um, but
Money back guarantee. Only
money
parenting
back.
book.
Yes.
Yeah. Right on the cover.
I said it before we started recording, and I can. I really would like to repeat it one more time, because the mission to put men together, it's really like, I would say, holy mission. I try as matchmaker. I try to do it for my events and generally, because women, they get a lot of acknowledgement from each other, from the families. We are more supportive, but men, they're really like lonely lions in the jungle, running around, searching for help, and they need this help. But I think it's something kind of false pride to say, I need help. They try to solve the problems alone. Of course, it's caused a lot of stress, a lot of problems. But again, even if I say, oh, you know what, I try to say it very gentle, not pusher. I have one very nice video. You don't have to pay for consultancy, nothing. Just watch a video. I don't need it. Strong men don't need anything. What do you think? Because you walk, your mission is walk with men. What is your experience, or why did you choose this niche, quite rare niche or complicated niche?
Sure. It seems to be a biological thing, but people who identify as men, we are protectors and providers, right? We are going to yell, we're going to argue, we're going to fight to stop the fighting, right? We yell at our kids to stop yelling because that's the protector first. We got to stop everything, shut everything down, make everything safe. Then we'll deal with the survivors. Then we'll deal with the nurturing. So it's warrior, then farmer. And so if you understand that, as a protector, as a warrior, asking for help is a sign of weakness, right? If I tell you too much of my plans, or if I need something, then you might use that to take advantage of me. You might manipulate me. You might use that to get over on me. So I can't risk that. So walls go up. I'm good. I don't need anything. I don't need your help. You need my help. And we actually see this, like, even in little boys, 4, 5, 6 years old. Look how brave I am. Look how strong I am. Look how powerful I am. I don't need your help. You need my help. Let me help you. And if mom's like, hey, could you be a big help? Little boys are like, what do you need? Like, what can I do to help? Like that's a magic word for a lot of men. Make us rescue you, you get problems. But if you let us help you, if we offer, hey, could I help you with that? Hey, we're not saying you're less than, we're not saying you're not capable, but I have skills and talents and abilities, and I want to be useful. I want to be helpful. So could I please? And so if we say that to young men, like, we'll get that. So sometimes with guys, like, the way to open up a conversation about coaching or getting support is kind of, how's that working for you so far? If there was a way to make it easier, faster, simpler, cheaper, would you be interested in hearing more about that? Because then I'm offering to add value versus, hey, bud, I see you struggling. You need my help. It's like, yeah, get bent, dude. I don't need your help. Take a hike. And so that puts us as guys, a lot of times we just don't have the resources we need. The other side of it is, not only we don't want to ask for help, but also as a protector, as a provider, I don't want to take your resources. I don't want to take from you, because I'll figure it's going to take me a little while, but that's okay because I don't want to take from you, right? It's the same way my wife will sometimes ask me, "Hey, do you want me to blah blah blah? Do you want me to take care of the cat boxes today?" And it's like, are you asking because you want to take care of the cat boxes, or are you asking to be polite? And then she kind of looks at me and she's like, I'm like, right, being polite. I got it. Nah, I'll take care of the cat box. It's fine. Because there's times that she'll ask me, hey, could I do this for you? And I know she doesn't want to, but like she's supposed to ask to be polite. Like she's supposed to do that. And it's like, I'm supposed to say no. And there's like this little thing. It's a cultural dance that we all play sometimes, but it's like, hey, do you really want to do that?
Gender
Yeah.
game. It's not
Yeah.
cultural gender game.
Yeah, well, that's what as I do more across culture. Yeah, it's not just, oh, American men, American women. Well, no, we see this playing out in a lot of other cultures too. One of the things I've been looking into a lot is maybe it's not gender, maybe it's right brain, left brain. And people that are more left brain, sequential, dialed in, triangle, delete the unessential. People that are more right brain, cook spaghetti, everything is connected to everything, wibbly wobbly, colors, feels, touchy, smelly, everything. Maybe that's what's going on, and we just call it men, women, because that's how it's most often expressed. Like, I don't care personally. Like, I don't care who is right. I care about what is right to get the impact to drive us forward. And that's for a lot of guys, it's like, dude, let's just solve the problem rather than argue back and forth and point fingers. All of us are screwed up. All of us have crap to deal with. Let's just assume that. And then how can we make it better? How can we play a game? We both get to win. We both get to feel good. How about that? Would that be more fun? Because you could be right and you're sleeping on the couch. Congratulations. I like to be sleeping next to my wife. So I'm going to play a game where we both get to feel good. It's a whole lot easier. And so knowing how to apologize, knowing how to communicate, like there's all these really cool things that come out if, well, I just want to get results with my wife versus, no, I'm right. Okay, but you're sleeping on the couch. How's that working? Because that's not a healthy way to be in a relationship long term if you want a lot of love and a lot of passion.
Yes, true, but I think if you're talking, if you continue talking about men, like like classical strong man, responsibility, knowing everything, being responsible for everything, it's really I am right. And what I notice in my daily life as matchmaker, that women, they say, and maybe they feel, I would like to have a strong man. If I ask, what does it mean strong for you? Or take responsibility, taking decisions, all this stuff. But it's only under certain extensions until it fits her. Because
Yes.
if he makes decisions he doesn't like,
Yep.
oh, yeah, he has to discuss everything with me. Yeah, but sorry, if you want to meet alpha male, you have to accept it. He's alpha. It's no discussion. He took this decision. You just accept. No. So it means and I read some researches and a lot of books about it. Men struggle much more than women right now because they lost their role. Because on one hand, that like 100 years ago, protection, providing, it's clear men are comfortable with this position.
Right.
But now women expect, oh, why are you yelling at me? You're so rude. Yeah, I'm rude because I'm bloody man. I have to.
Right. But I'm not rude, right? Because guys understand if I'm yelling at you, I don't have to be mad at you to yell at you. It's just I want you to freaking hear me, so I'm going to raise my voice. And guys don't take that personal, right? We understand. It's a level of posturing. It's a communication style. It's like, I'm serious. This freaking matters. Like, back up. Who do you think you are? Doesn't mean I hate you. Doesn't mean I'm going to hurt you. Doesn't mean I'm going to commit violence. Right. But for the other side, for women, it's like they're not so comfortable with their physical expression all the time. And so because of that, anything that disturbs their peace, it's like, oh, but I could be abandoned, but there could be I could be left to my own devices. And it's like, yeah, no, I promised. I don't care how I feel. I said I was going to protect you. I'm going to protect you. My feelings don't matter in the matter, is how guys think. And for women, if they don't feel like it, they'll kick you to the curb because, well, it was an okay relationship, but it wasn't this or that, and I just didn't feel like he wanted me enough, or I don't feel like he provided enough, so I just And then they end up going train wreck relationship, because they've got this idealized story in their head that has nothing to do with reality. When the guy they were with was like 85-90% perfect, but oh, I have to have the butterflies and I have to have the this and the that. And it's like, but you guys have been together 15 years. And there's a sequence there, right? Because when you start to go from expectations to obligations to entitlement, once either partner feels entitled to the other, that's the death of the relationship. Because then you feel justified for withholding love, for punishing, because you're not doing what you're supposed to do. You're not doing what you owe me in this relationship. And once you hit that place, like all the good stuff goes away. Like my wife and I are both fully functioning, capable human beings, and we appreciate the crap out of each other because like she does the dishes. Hey babe, thanks. That was really helpful. But if I do the dishes, she says, hey babe, thanks. That was really helpful. Like we both can do the laundry. We both can cook. We both can clean. We both can do all the things so that each of us is independent. We're capable. And then we come together and it creates a synergy greater than either of us independently. Right. It's a both.
Yes. Yesterday I was in one female group, and we have, of course, where I come, it's always about relationship. People like talking about it. And one woman, she is thinking about moving in together with her long hair boyfriend. And she said, I want him to be responsible for me. And she's, my age probably. I said, what do you mean? What do you mean? Yeah, something like if we move together and I have less money, I should get something out of it. I said, why should you have less money moving in together with a strong, independent man, adult man? Yeah, but I will work less. Why? Did he ask for it? No. Did he demand? No. So in her head, so it's automatically, if we move together, she has to reduce her life because of him.
Right.
Yes, and I think women more likely to make this mistake, being from being independent, funny, interesting woman with interesting life, to reduce himself to housewife, sit at home with dinner and wait for the God.
Right. Well, there's feminine, like not women, because guys can be in their feminine and do this too. But feminine tends to be more people pleasing, more accommodating. I have to make sure you're in a good place so that you'll protect me and provide for me. So I have to be smaller and make you happy. And I make food for you. And then is it good? Do you like it? Do you like my food? Are you going to love me? Are you going to protect me? Are you going to take care of me? Do you like it? Was it good? Was it good? And it's like, God bless America. Get off me. Right. And sometimes we will have these rules we don't even know we have. Like my wife and I talked about it because there was like, her name is Autumn, like the season, but like single Autumn had one set of rules, and then dating Autumn had a different set of rules, and then girlfriend, different set of rules, fiance, different set of rules, wife, different set of rules, mother, different set of rules. They're all different women with different expectations and different needs and different wants and different unresolved stuff. And if I have this idea she's one woman all the time, no, because last night she went out with some friends and had dinner, and like she needs that. Like I don't have that type of social drive that I need to go out on a regular basis. She has a higher social drive than I do. And so, but I kind of had to force her because like mom and wife versions are no, stay at home, no, watch the budget, no, it was busy on Sunday, we didn't get a chance to connect, so I should stay home. And I'm like, babe, I love you, get out of the house, here's your budget, because we're trying to be mindful of our finances for this, that's our goal for this year. So here's your budget, stay within. You'll be back by this time. You can use me as an excuse to come back home if you don't want to stay out late. That's fine. You can say I'm not feeling well or whatever. Like I'm giving her these outs, but like, and then she came home and she was just so filled up from chatting with some friends and getting out. She went and had like tacos. Like it wasn't anything fancy. She didn't go drinking. She didn't go dancing for hours on end. But that filled her up. And then she comes back as a fulfilled woman. Then she can be a better mom and a better wife and a better all these other roles that she has. But that's on me to realize the force of nature that she is. Here's how to set her up for the most success. Because if I fill her to overflowing with life, with love, with opportunity, then she has that to flow back into me. And then if she can do the same for me, like I'll be doing stuff and like she wants to spend time with me, and I'm like, hey babe, can I just have like 15-20 minutes to shut off? And then and then we can connect. She doesn't always like it, but she knows when she lets that happen, she gets a better Jeremy. I'm more recharged, I'm more present, I'm more playful because I'm not on fumes. So she doesn't like it, but she allows it. And then when she does, she gets a better me and she appreciates that guy. So it's just recognizing those expectations. So when you ask that question, what does that mean to you when you say this thing? In my world, we would call that rules, right? That's part of how I build games. It's the second step. But it's like, what are your rules? How do you know you're winning? How do you know you're scoring points? We can't talk about points till we talk about rules first, because that's where that conflict is. Well, did he ask you to do less, to be smaller? Well, no, but I just should. According to who? Every time someone says should, that's a rule. And you have to question that and go, well, where'd that come from? How do you know that's true? Not why, because why will spin all kinds of wasted time. What's and hows are always more powerful. And so it's like, well, what makes that true for you? How do you know that's true? And then we can get to what they're really needing or wanting. And then we can go provide that and win.
But it's really interesting. What I always give this advice. For me, it's like I give this advice even without thinking about it. I always say to men and to women, because I work with both. I say, you know what? Just fix the moment. You like her how she is now.
Mm-hmm.
Fix the moment. If you want to change something, no, stop in your head. Go back and fixing position. She is like she is. If she wants to change something, it's okay, but still you love her or started loving her as she is. And
Mm-hmm.
my not my but problem of some women in my world, because I'm an international matchmaker, so I always have this conflict of different mentalities. Something like he doesn't allow me to go to the language school. In my head, how you are adult woman get to this moment that some adult speaker says can tell you stay at home, don't learn the language. What?
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
Well, that
many
doesn't
men do
allow
it.
me. Yeah. Well, it's interesting because part of my life as a hypnotherapist, like I hear the story that people create, and that's because of this other stuff. And it's like, but who decided that? Who told you that story? Right? Because it's like, oh, he doesn't allow me. Really? So you said, I want to do this thing, and he said, no, I forbid it. Is that what he said in those exact words? Well, no, but he wasn't really excited when I brought it up, and he didn't do any extra research, and he didn't check. I gave him 3 schools to look at, and he hasn't looked at any of them yet. So obviously, this isn't a priority for him. So obviously, he doesn't care. So obviously, he wants me to stay home. That's a
So
lot of jumping to conclusions. Is
so
that
you
the
want
only
to
exercise? Yeah,
So you
go ahead.
want to say so many of the women complaints it just built up in their heads and
Mhm.
men didn't say it.
No, he didn't, but okay, he didn't do the research that you wanted him to do when you asked him what he thought, or you asked him what he thought, he told you what he thought, and you didn't want him to actually tell you what he thought. You wanted him to validate what you were doing and say it was a good idea, versus
Mhm.
he's like, well, no, that's cool, because like a friend of mine wanted to do a remodel in her backyard, right? So she wanted to add like a little water effect and a little garden. It's gonna be about $15,000. And she went to her husband. He was like, no, that's stupid. Like we're not gonna waste that kind of money. And she was really hurt and she was really upset because like this meant a lot to her. And I was like, well, probably because you were talking to the retirement committee and he's thinking $15,000 out of our retirement now to go do this thing for the house. There's no return on that investment. What would happen to your property value if you put 15,000 into your backyard? Look at the community you're in, look at the housing prices. If you added 15,000, how much would that raise the value of your house? And she was super analytical. She's like, without even having to tell me, like she didn't research. She was just like, oh, it'll add at least 50,000. And I was like, so that's how you explain it to him. You have to know his buying criteria because you're talking to the retirement committee and the answer is going to be no. But if you talk to the investment committee and say, hey, the property value will go up by 50,000 on a $15,000. So then it's just, hey, babe, if there was a way we could raise the value of our house by like $50,000, would you be interested? And he's like, I'd be curious. Tell me more. And and so she got her backyard remodeled. but she started with his goals. She understood what he needed to say yes, but it just required, she talked to the wrong part of him. She talked to the retirement committee. No. The answer to the retirement is always no. Because like that's compounded over the next 20 years. No. Like that's so much money we're throwing away versus, oh, but it raises the property value. Oh, well then that increases the equity of the house, which we can then use for investing and we can use for blah, blah, blah. Different answer.
But you know, so we I don't know how, but we returned to really start of our conversation that, you know, your example was about the woman you helped with advice. But in many situations, men are in this situation. They make mistakes. They think they say, as example, you know how works, how what is happening in men heads and women heads. Men say, I would like to meet you, or I would like to meet you in person. And they forget to say, I pay for everything. We can meet in your city or in my city. Don't worry, I will pick you up from your place, drop you off. Something like, we want to meet, or it's time to meet. Dot. In her head, okay, he wants to meet me. Yeah, okay. And answer is, yeah, it would be nice to meet you as well.
Right. But what's the plan? Where are we meeting? What's my safety? Like guys have to understand, we have to create the container. We have to create the safety for the feminine to be expressed, right? A lot of guys get dialed into the day-to-day minutia. We get in the weeds of specifics, and our women can't love into that because it's only this week. It's only today. They need 6 months, a year, when we're retired, when we're in our 80s. They need that bigger space. So for women, and really creating games, the first thing is always boundaries. It's always the what's in bounds, what's out of bounds. What are our parameters here? Like, tell me where I'm playing, right? What's the positions we're in? Then we can go.
Tell me about the rules.
Yeah. Well, first step is space, because you got to have room to breathe. And so a lot of times guys, like we're so much more physical. Like I do this with when I have mixed couples or mixed groups, but I will have the guy hold out his hand and I'll have the ladies grab his hand and squeeze, right? Squeeze as hard as you can, squeeze until it hurts, squeeze until he says, ow, please stop. Use 2 hands and keep squeezing. And most couples, most people, she can squeeze with both hands, both legs, get a friend of hers, and he's still not going to say ow. Then I have him squeeze his own hand until it hurts, just so guys can appreciate how much stronger we are without even realizing it, without even thinking about it, right? So that first, just the physical form, like as guys, we're constantly putting pressure out. We're constantly taking up space. And for feminine, be smaller, be pleasing, make everyone happy. Don't get noticed in the wrong way. Don't be criticized. Don't be left out of the group. So it's this constant diminishment where masculine is this constant expansion. And so that sense of space, it's like, dude, you've got to give her room, right? Room to breathe, room to relax, room to think, room to feel. That's the first piece, because if she's panicked, if she's in a place of scarcity, if she's in a place of overwhelm or overload, and she literally has no room to breathe, you're never going to get the best out of her. So if a guy wants to meet, go on a date, whatever, have a plan, be slightly fuzzy with it. Doesn't have to be, this is what we are doing on this day and this time, and you will wear these clothes and we will do it like this, woman. Like a little too hard first meeting, dude. Little too alpha. Like dial it down. But I'd really love to meet you. But I want to make sure you feel safe. So I'd love to meet you in a public place. Perhaps we could meet for coffee, and then we could go to a museum. And that way we're going to be out in public. Definitely make sure one of your girlfriends knows, where we're at when we get together. Take a picture of me just so you can send it to your friends, so she knows what I look like. Everyone, just want to keep it open and above board. I want you to feel as safe as possible, because I'm not here to threaten you. I think you're an amazing person. I can't wait to meet you in person. I want to take this next step because I'm really I'm so impressed by you. You're such an incredible woman. I would love to just see what it's like with the two of us together in person. So here's my basic idea is, 2-3 steps, but it's very, very clear, her safety, her visibility, her validation, because that sets the stage. I'm going to be thoughtful of where we are, what's going on, who's around us, because every woman has, unfortunately, the horror stories of somebody they knew, or a friend of theirs, or a girl from college or university. Like every woman, unfortunately, around the planet has had inappropriate things said towards them, or things that made them feel uncomfortable. So I am powerful and I will make things happen. At the same time, I'm going to give you room to breathe, right? When my wife and I started dating, we went out on a date. It was awesome. She wasn't sure if it was a date or not. There's a whole little bit of plot there. But then the next time we got together, that was on a Sunday. The next time we got together was a Tuesday night. And we were there talking. It was great. But I found out it was a non-date. And then I found out like she had been going on first dates for like 6 months. And like nobody had progressed past the first date. And so I walked her back to her apartment. We were eating at a restaurant that was in the same building as where her apartment was, but I walked her back to her front door and I simply said to her, I want my second date. And I gave her a hug and I left. It wasn't a request, but it wasn't a demand. It was a statement of fact. I married her 6 months later. We celebrated 10 years almost a month ago. It was the 27th of December, and we're recording on January 22nd. So like I know the dates of when milestones in our relationship, because like I love that kind of stuff. I looked for this woman for 38 years. Right. So it's like,
but you know, so I like your story, and it's no wonder that you're married for 10 years, because you know how to say, how to be a strong man without being, over strong. But the reality is, I don't know if you have such cases. As example, we have event, and a single event, and after every event, just to make my life easier, I just exchange contact information. I just give men to women, women to men, and for me it's over, game over.
Right.
After every event, even seeing women personally, getting contacts, so everything, my job is done. One from men group is asking, what should I do next? The problem of this over created emancipation is that quite many single men have no idea even what to do if I got your WhatsApp. It's not funny, in the normal world, you have WhatsApp, logically think what's the next step. Next
right.
step to write something, at least hi, at least, at least this. They don't dare.
Yeah. Yeah, you gotta chat. You've gotta like have a conversation of some sort. Say hello. Like, it was great to meet you. Hey, it was a fantastic weekend, or it was a fantastic event. What did you think? What was your biggest takeaway? What was the biggest impact? What was the biggest benefit? What was the most meaningful thing that happened for you out of that? Like you've got to start energy exchange, right?
Yes, and don't forget, this is event, and just I try to connect them somehow. I say,
Yeah.
even if there only one topic of your conversation is to complain how bad event was, is okay.
Yeah.
I'm fine with it.
It's a
So at
starting point.
least you have common enemy, me. You can
Yeah.
gossip about me.
Yeah.
I'm fine. But no,
So
what
one of
to
the
do?
one of the concepts I teach is called 5 to Thrive. And it's really laying out your relationship vision in the positives, in the negatives, what would delight you and what would thrill you. And I had a client, she was 55, and she was dating a guy, and he had been twice divorced, and he lives an hour away. And one of the things that she needs is she needs a good morning text. That's just, if she doesn't get a good morning text, now she's worried about him. Is he okay? Because they're a little older. They're in their 50s. Did he sleep well? Is everything okay with him? His 24-year-old daughter's living with him right now. Is something up with his daughter? Like she's in her head all day long until she hears from him about what's going on. Not because she's insecure, but because he is close to her heart. And if things are unsettled for her, she starts to spin up. Now, on his side, he's been divorced twice, and both of them were ugly. And I'm not going to have a woman tell me what to do. So you tell me I have to text you every freaking morning. No, I'm not going to do it. I don't want to. I shouldn't have to. That right there is a rules conflict in their relationship. They can never win this game because he has a wound with the feminine. He's been hurt by 2 women. Therefore, all women are suspicious. All women are dangerous. And I'm not going to be told what to do, where she's not that person. She's not trying to hurt him. For her mental and emotional stability, she needs a good morning text, because that's just how she loves to start her day. Like if they were living together, she could just like roll over and kiss his face and be like, hey, good morning, I love you, how'd you sleep? Like she could get that certainty, but they live an hour apart, so this is what she needs. It's not wrong, doesn't make her needy, but for her to say this is what I need, it makes her feel like some kind of way. And I'm like, nah, it's fine, that's what you need, own that. You don't need anybody's permission. If this is what you know makes you thrive, it's part of your 5 to thrive. It's a need. If you don't get it, the whole rest of your day is weird. Cool. That guy doesn't want to do that. He's the wrong guy. Doesn't make him bad, doesn't make him wrong, doesn't make him evil or vile or manipulative or toxic or anything. He has stuff he needs to deal with. He's not the right guy to be with you. That was not something she enjoyed hearing. But that relationship fizzled out. So I worked with her on her 5 to thrive. Like, let's get clear on the things you need and want and love to give and receive and your rules and deal breakers. Like, let's get clear on all that. And then lead with that when you're dating. Oh, no, I don't know I could do that because, ooh, that could be scary. And I'm like, no, you lead with it before you catch any feelings for someone. Because if they look at that list and they're like, hell no, I would never do this. Fantastic. Let's have a great dinner and we'll have a great conversation and we'll wish each other well and no attachment. Because now she's with a guy who loves her list, is totally amazed by it, and loves to message her every morning because he knows he's scoring points with her. He knows when he sends her a message in the morning and says, hey, good morning, beautiful, how'd you sleep? If he sends it first thing, he wins with her and he sets her up for success, and he wants to give to her and he wants to fill her up because she said, these are the things I need and want, blah, blah, blah. He was like, hell yeah, tell me more. I love this. This is amazing. Who
Yeah,
loses?
because for some people it's really simpler to get this frame. So how can I make you happier? We all are different, and all these psychology researchers, they confuse us. I continue. I started I started saying that all these science, psychology, all these researchers, they are wrong for some brains.
Right.
Because instead of saying I'm very bad in communication and I cannot get any date, they start saying from this test I'm this type of letters,
I hate all
or
that.
my love language is that, and I am this. I
Yeah.
know this stuff, but instead of just I cannot, just being simple, I cannot get any woman for one bloody drink just because I am this, what's the
Right.
name of this? Bricks, something like this tests.
Yeah, Briggs-Meyer, which is made up.
Yeah.
Like all the psychology stuff on a certain level is all made up because it's all just observational. Like I'm in a discussion group and somebody posted about ego, and actually what he was talking about was id, not ego. But not very many people are educated in Freud's model of psychology. So we're going to talk about the ego is the bruise that forms with the super ego and the id. The id's your desires and your drives and your dictates and your passions, your human animal, and the super ego is society. And where those two crash, that right there is the ego, if we're using Freud's model. But it's like none of that matters. What do you want? What do you need? What would you love to have? What would you love to give? Like own that stuff. And it takes some figuring out. But if you know what that stuff is and then you lead with that, it's really easy to find someone, because it's not let me find the one. It's let me sort out the hell knows. Because then you don't waste time and resources and energy, and no harm, no foul. Because like I can operate in my feminine, I can operate in my masculine. I was in an unhealthy relationship and I learned to do a bunch of stuff and people please and all these things. But I can't date a woman who is purely feminine, because there's times when I'm in overwhelm or overload and I need my wife to strategize because I'm just freaking cooked. And when she realizes like I'm depleted, she can realize and she can switch modes and she can be in her masculine, because it's just I'm done. I'm so tired. I've given so much. I pushed so hard. I've done this and this. I'm depleted. And she sees that and she's not threatened by it. She's not like, what about me? She's like, cool, I got this. And then she can move into her masculine, and we just kind of flow with each other. So I need to be with a woman who has capacity and bandwidth, not pure feminine, but also not pure masculine. I don't want to bang Johnsons all day long and like have dueling provider stuff going on. So how can we flow with each other? That's me, right? That's not every guy. That's not every girl. That's not every couple. That's fine. That's like when I work with people to find like what is the game you're playing, so we can find someone who's going to win with you, not win against you. Because like my wife and I are in cooperation, not competition. Her first relationship, where my stepson came from, constant competition, right? Anything she did, the guy she was with, well, I'm going to show you, I'm going to do it better. And I'm like, why? This woman is a force of nature who's been working since she was 6 years old. Why would you want to compete and try to like show her up? If she's better at you than something, freaking let her go. Get out of her way. Move this stuff out of the way to help her to excel. And then, because then I know I've given that to her, she has that available to give back to me. It's a win-win, right? When the kids are like pulling from mom and she's depleted, I'm like, hey guys, do you notice mom is snapping at you? Now would be a good time to stop asking for you. Ask for her. What does she need? What have you poured into her today? And the kids are like, ooh. I'm like, can't pour from an empty cup, kids. Fill her up. What does she need?
Yeah.
Observe.
Yeah, great. It's really great advice. It's a game to win with.
Yeah. Yeah,
And
it's so much more fun.
yeah. But unfortunately, really, so some many singles, especially long years, singles, they see dating as a fight against each other, something like it should be like I said, or she doesn't want what but explain what you want to. I like this idea about shopping list because it's one of advice I give, but not in this like this behavior, not so texting good morning. It's very important for me, but maybe it really makes sense to be more detailed.
Mm-hmm.
Because what the problem with women? Of course, women, just because they expect men being provider and strong, it's their main idea. So men should have a house.
Right.
It's my favorite. It's my favorite, and I always say, okay. I always say, okay. He should have a house. Have you ever lived in the house? Do you know how much does it cost? Do you know how much cost all this maintaining of the house, and why single men should live in the big house alone? What's the point? It doesn't make any sense because it's too expensive. But this, and then they move in the house. Even if it's expensive. We have to pay so many taxes and so much work. We cannot travel because we have no money. We fixed this and that. Yeah.
Right. Yeah, because your rules. Like
Yeah. Because,
what does the house give you?
yeah.
What does it cost you? What does it give, but what does it take? Because everything gives and takes. Everything that you put yourself into, there's a cost also, right? We have 3 cats. That means when we travel, we have to have somebody watch the cats. That's just it's just we have cats. Like that's just part of the deal. They're part of our family. We're not just going to remove them because they're inconvenient. One of them is blind, so like okay. We have to manage that, and at some point, we won't have cats, and that will allow us other opportunities, and that's fine too. Like we don't need to have cats, but we have cats. Our kids are growing up with them, and cool. There's a cost there. Okay, cool. Because like we'd be happy in an apartment. Oh, one of our cats needs to get out and go chase things because otherwise she's mean to her siblings. So she really needs kind of like a yard or like space to go outside. Okay, we will accommodate that. And my stepson is in high school or going into high school, so he needs a room in our house. Okay, we'll accommodate that. And then in 5 years, when he's going off to university, cool. Then we can change our situation. So we're already planning 5 years ahead, 10 years ahead. Our daughter
Right.
is, our daughter is 9, so she's going to be 18, and then she could go off to university. Empty nest. What do we want to do? We're already putting ideas in place and planting seeds. But that also gives my wife time to love into another life for us, so that what we're going through now isn't quite so heavy, because she knows at a certain point it's not a forever thing. Right? There's room for her to have a different way of living and a different way of, what if we lived downtown and got rid of our car and we just had public transportation and we lived over a building and coffee shop right next door, and we could do that, and it's not that far away and we're not that old. So like life is still like a lot of opportunity. Cool conversation.
Yeah, conversation is cool, but unfortunately we have no much time. So I will invite you one more time because I really enjoy what you're saying. I really make my notes. My last question, very professional, very serious question. What's the advice you give to men most of the time?
For guys, you got to deal with yourself first. You can't give what you don't have. And for most guys, we don't know what we deserve. We don't think we deserve anything. And so then we put up with a lot of stuff that we really shouldn't. So for guys, really, there's three things you need to deal with. You need to deal with, one is your inner child, deal with your past, how you grew up, your parents, what you got, what you didn't get, whatever wounds are there. So fault, blame, guilt, shame, that's all tied to your childhood. Second, as a man, how can you master this moment? How can you be a force of positive impact? Where's your power? Where's your identity? And then third, as a king, what's your vision? What's your future? How are you protecting? What are you protecting? And how are you providing? And provide isn't just money. It's mental, it's emotional, it's social, it's spiritual. Like there's so much more than just go make some money. Because make all the money and you're never there for your family. And then as your kids grow up, you get divorced because you're essentially a stranger. So how can you provide more than just existence? How can you provide a life worth living? So the boy, the man, the king, all three have to be addressed. And that can feel overwhelming. I have a quiz to help guys isolate where are you in those areas so that we can really make measurable improvement in a short period of time. Right? We don't need to sit in a drum circle and kumbaya. We need specific tactics and strategies. Here's how to get through the stone wall of the silent treatment. Here's how to get her out of her head, get her back into her heart. Here's how to plan for your future. Like specific tactical actions versus I know it when I see it, but I got to go make money right now, so I can't deal with this. Then enjoy your divorce, because it's going to happen, whether it's in 10 or 15 or 20 years, it's going to happen because you're not present. You're not here. So boy, man, king, we got to get that. So you got to get yourself solid. Then you can give amazingness to your family.
Yeah, because in other words, if you don't know who you are and what is your place on this planet, you will try to compensate it, and most of the time compensate it with wrong relationship, and this is it. Enjoy your divorce.
Yeah, you're chasing shadows. It's like when I see like men's work and they start with like goal setting, it's like, no, because that's fantasy. That's a boy's wishes. Oh, I'm gonna make, I had a guy that was gonna retire from the military, and he was like, well, the next year I'm gonna make $800,000. Okay, cool. What's your network? Don't have one. What's your product? Don't have one. What's your sales skill? Don't have any. Okay, where's that money coming from and how are you going to get it? Well, I have faith in the universe. And it's like, oh, okay. That's from zero. I mean, you'll have existence because you retire from the military. You'll have existence covered. But to net 800K from zero, not impossible. That's a big hill to climb, dude. And you have no connections, no network, no relationships, no sale. Like there's a whole bunch of things against you. That's a little boy pretending and playing make-believe. I don't care that he's in his 40s. He's still emotionally a little boy that we have to nurture that young man, not make him wrong for it, not punish him, not laugh at him, but just like that's a big step, dude. Not impossible, but we got some hills to climb.
Yeah, true. Absolutely true. So I liked our conversation so much. And my dear spectators, if you do as well as I did, I will post their contact information of Jeremy under this video. You can contact him. And if you ask a lot of questions, I will invite him once again. I will invite him any case, because I really like the way how it's very clear message. It's really understandable. It makes sense. It's logic for men, but on the other hand, a lot of emotions.
Yeah.
So it's both sides, feminine. Yeah. Thank you very much.
My pleasure. This has been fantastic.
Okay. Thank you. Bye.
Bye.